you have assimilated it very well. It's very, very cool.
So how would you define neo soul? What is neo soul, honestly?
I don't even know. I mean, I kind of just, I guess I think of, you know, the D'Angelo stuff, certainly that, you know, kind of the gospel-y infused contemporary R&B, I guess that uses kind of the chord progressions and stuff that are vaguely reminiscent of old soul tunes, but yet done with contemporary instrumentation and maybe some electronica, hip hop elements that weren't in there before. But the guitar stuff very much kind of gospel-y infused, along with, you know, the Curtis Mayfield and Hendrixisms that might be, you know what I mean? That's what I think anyway. I mean,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah. So like my old side, you know, back in the days, progressive listener, Dream Theater listeners, I was like, dang it, don't consider yourself a neo soul guy. But the fact that I play those things, so it kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. But again, like my essence of listening was pretty much rock centered. But maybe that's one of the reasons why like people are always like, oh yeah, this guy, whatever. But yeah, it's nice to combine in different styles.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like for you, like playing blues and rock. I mean, I love those things. You know, like I remember when I found out about Philip Says.
Oh yeah.
To me, and it's not. I don't like branding and categorizing artists, but when I first heard his stuff, I was like, dang, this guy feels like Steve Ray on steroids because his vibrato, because it's like. His phrasing is very Steve Ray influenced, but the way his vibratos and stuff, it feels like Zakk Wylde playing a Strat guitar. Right. So I was like, dang, this is insane, because I've never watched a guitar player like doing that vibrato so strong with so much, you know, balls. Right. So I was like, this is cool. Like mixing those different elements, it's great. Like rock, blues, and, you know, even for the neo soul perspective too. But yeah, so that's pretty much.
Well, let me ask you this. So what are your, because you're a young man, by God, what are some of your goals and aspirations as far as your musical career? What would you like to see happen? Or are you of the, hey, in the moment I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm just kind of open for whatever happens? Or are you like, no, this and this and this is going to happen? I mean, what are your thoughts on your future activities?
Well, I believe my first priority, even though I don't think this is what's going on in my life at the moment, so this is kind of frustrating answer, but it's definitely come up with something to release. Honestly, I just have this desire, you know, because I've been carrying this thoughts of, man, please put up something, come up with something, release something on the music platforms. And even now, like my followers and fans, even friends, they're always like, yeah, dude, it's nice seeing you playing on Instagram and the socials, but we want to hear, I want to be able to go on Spotify and search on your name and be able to listen to your music. So I have this, but I believe I kind of put this too much. So I'm kind of overthinking. And probably that's one of the reasons why I'm still struggling in the process of finalizing all that.
Sure.
But my main priority would be to finish the songs. And again, probably the fact that I post stuff consistently on my social media kind of put me in a, like this thing on my side of like just getting annoyed of whatever I come up with. So it's kind of hard for me, because if I could show you the folder of all my Pro Tools projects with songs or unfinished songs, I believe I have more than like 50. But for me, it's always like, I don't know, this is already too much.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like so for me, I think I just need to be push a little bit less on myself and just like, okay, cool, just put out. and organize things a little bit better. That's why I crave for a help of a producer, of somebody on my side to give me the instructions of like, no, this is good, this could be a song, like just work on that. Because for me, I think I think I struggle too much on that, like picking songs, picking melodies, because again, we are always searching for guitar stuff all the time. So we play guitar all the time. So we are always like, and for me, I get in a point that I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I can't stand this again. But I gotta understand what I really want in terms of music, like what my music taste wants to like send this to my followers or my fans. So yeah, this is by far the first priority. I gotta release something, and I've been trying. Unfortunately, the pandemic kind of stopped me to work with different people, but I absolutely would love to come up with an album ready to release. And again, I don't feel like, oh yeah, I want to stop touring with different artists. I believe it's something that it was very important to me, and because I've learned so much from playing different styles and playing with different musicians as well, with different music backgrounds. So it's something that I don't want to disconnect forever. Probably I don't want to be like a permanent touring musician.
Sure.
Because like I can't stand long tours, like for me, like especially playing for somebody else, it's too much. Like I unfortunately I have this thing. I'm just like, I'm done. So if I could work it out, my personal career as a guitar player, and separate a seasonal part of the year to tour with another musician, another artist, that would be a very dream. I think that would be like, well, a goal for myself, at least for now, because I'm still in my 20s. I'm 26. I believe I still have some years ahead to do that, because we all know touring could be very tiring, and after a while you want to spend time with family, you want to be around, and so I believe I still have those years to spend. And so maybe after 30s my mind would change completely. But right now,
you got plenty of time.
But now, my biggest desire is to focus way more on my musical career, and share a little bit more of my creations, and try to help others with the music knowledge, the guitar knowledge that I have at the moment. Because again, there's a lot of stuff that only the experience could reveal to people, like I could teach a pentatonic lick, but that's just, it's just, a noodling thing. But, stories behind like how to behave into music tours, how to preparation for this and that, this is something that you don't see much. It's hard to explain unless you go practice, experience it. Right. So for me, it's something that I have a passion for it. Like just share thoughts and share like, oh, how could you prepare for this or for, other stuff. And well, hopefully, after this pandemic goes out, thankfully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a goal. And another thing, sorry, man, I speak.
That's all right. Go ahead. This is great.
But I want to try, because I know I'm pretty, I'm not as good in terms of explaining stuff, but I want to force myself a little better to try to explain, to share my thoughts in terms of, become an instructional player as well. Sure. Like I would love to come up with something as well in terms of theories and explain this to people. Let's see.
Well, it's one of those things too, when you have to deconstruct what you do, it actually makes you better because it's kind of like, oh, I guess this is what I'm doing. So I have found anyway that when I have to deconstruct what I'm doing to explain it to others, I actually learn more because it might open up some doors of, oh, well, I guess what I'm really doing is this. And then you're like, it kind of, you know what I mean? It kind of helps you refine your own playing. And plus, I'm a big believer in you got to give to get. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not like it's Machiavellian where like I got to give X amount away so I get so much. You know, it's not that. But you know what I mean? It's like I've just found that the things that have turned out the best for me is things I don't even think about, but I just do them, and I guess it involves giving away things, and I don't even think about it. But as after the fact, I'm like, it seems like all the doors opened up when it's not all about me. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. That's one of the things, because I remember I was so focused on like, oh yeah, man, I gotta put up this content of my guitars, but then when you put this into actions, you got the conclusion of it, and then I was like, no, yeah, you gotta, the less you just think about yourself, the better. This is when you start learning more, you know?
Right.
But when we jammed, I was like, yeah, see, like this is so good, because again, I believe now that we have the power, you know, like the internet gives us this sensation of power. So that kind of, in a, how can I say, non-predictable way, kind of makes us to focus way more on the individual. Like we become very individualist of like, no, it's my thing. But at the same time, when you kind of go the opposite way, there's so much to learn about.
Yes.
And it was just amazing when, you know, after watching the video of us jamming, I was like, wow, it's so nice to see, because again, the interaction was so amazing. I was like, wow, it's been such a long time, because I jamming with another person is something that I don't do much. And then when that happened, I was like, wow, this is nice. I love it. It was amazing.
It was a blast. We'll have to do it again.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. And hopefully with more time, you know.
Yes. And without people hunching over us.
That's the thing, dude. NAMM scares me the hell of me. I'm always like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? But it's nice to have that.
It's such a, again, it's just, you know, it is what it is. And it's so weird that anytime you pick up a guitar and play, you know, and again, it sounds like, oh, poor me. People actually care about your playing guitar. You know, I'm not whining about it, but by the same token is that every time you pick up a guitar and play in public, someone's got a phone out. And more often than not, it's going to be on YouTube within the hour. So,
I know.
So there's really, you know, you got to keep your level of playing up, or at very least just be like, you know what, you just can't care what people say one way or the other. I mean, totally. I've come to the point where it's like, you know, I'm aware of what people say because you want to be able to refine what you do. But at the same token, it's like, I don't put any emotional attachment to what anybody says, for the good or the bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now I think, to me, like the challenge that I have on my mind, and again, this is because probably I overthink. It's like, because I'm very, like, people know me the most for the Instagram. So they always have, most people never saw me playing in real life. So they're always like, oh, let's see, how is this guy, like, in front of the cameras, like not when he's in the room, like in his bedroom playing guitar.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, and I get it, like when you are in your bedroom, you could pick the better take. You have a lot of opportunities. You could spend the whole freaking afternoon just playing the whole lick, and this is the good one. And when you're like, okay, let's see if this guy's the real deal, you know? So yeah, I mean, but I love it. At the same time, it's like, it's great. I love having this feeling of like, okay, cool, let's just go for it.
Right.
But yeah, we got to do it one more time, another time for sure.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I've taken up enough of your time. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and talking through your process and your influences. And it's just been a blast. I'm a big fan, and good luck down there in Brazil. I look forward to when you come back. And I'd like to get down to Brazil at some point. So, you know, it's one of the only places I've never been to South America. I'd love to get down there.
Wow.
One of these days.
Man. Well, people really respect and admire your playing here, I'm pretty sure. And dude, you're more than welcome. And it would be a very pleasure for us to have you here. And
one of these days we'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. I really had a great time with you guys. It's so nice, talking to you. And I hope we can, cross our paths again. Not only virtually, but physically too.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much. And we'll hope to see you soon. Man. Stay safe, as they say.
That's great, man.
All right. Have a good one.
Brother. You too. Bye-bye.